to the Enterprise World magazine. Today's guest is a visionary business leader who's redefining leadership through authenticity, long-term value creation, and a powerful builder's mindset. As the founder and managing partner of MBL Partners, he has been at the forefront of guiding organizations and leaders to move beyond short-term thinking and embrace sustainable growth, transparency, and purpose-driven leadership. His approach challenges conventional leadership norms, emphasizing internal validation, daily discipline, and meaningful impact that extends far beyond immediate success. Please join me in welcoming the most visionary business leader to watch in 2026, Matthew Mathison. Matthew, thank you so much for joining us. It's a pleasure to have you on the show today. So let's get started. Yes.
Thank you for having me. I'm excited to be here.
Oh, it's our honor, Matthew. So let's get started with the first segment. So let's begin with your journey, right? So what inspired you to establish MBL Partners, and also how did your early experiences shape your philosophy around leadership and value creation?
I mean, MBL Partners is really the culmination of my entire professional career. I spent the first half of my career really on Wall Street doing everything you can do, right? Buy side, sell side, the entire journey. And the second half of my career has really been in the private markets. Again, private equity, venture. But through that all, I've been just a crazy entrepreneur. I love building businesses. I love fixing problems. I love finding hidden gems. And MBL Partners really is kind of the pinnacle of all of those learnings put together into one private investment platform that empowers me and my partner and everyone that we work with to really seek their dreams and ultimately thrive.
I think that's a good long-standing journey. So what pivotal moment or realization led you to reject the belief that leadership requires external validation, and how did that shift transform the way you lead and live today?
Yeah, I think fundamentally we grow up thinking that somehow leaders are, have a certain title, a certain role, a certain corner office. And I just fundamentally reject that. I've learned that some of the best leaders are those that actually lift themselves and then lift others around. And those come from every walk of life, every aspect of a business organization, every part of a community. And I believe we all have in ourselves an ability to lead both ourselves and others. And I think that's where the whole concept of Leadership Orbit, the book, came from.
I think that's beautifully explained. Definitely, I think leadership is not about leading, but about empowering. So that's really nice. So like I mentioned in your introduction as well, how can adopting a builder's mindset focused on consistent incremental action rather than talent or shortcuts transform an individual into an effective and authentic leader?
Every outcome actually begins and ends with the fundamental building blocks, right, of process building. Having that builder's mindset, something that you can take a problem, you can break it down into its smallest and most simplest form, and you can build from there. That creates this empowerment feeling that I'm trying to help both myself as well as those around me learn. Everyone can lead as long as they build and progress and overcome the challenges that they're facing in simple and very basic manner. And I think that builder's mindset, I think about it, Karate Kid, an old famous movie, the famous Miyagi taught this, this kid who didn't know anything about karate or fighting, right? He started teaching them by building up the wax on, wax off, type mentality that many of us can remember. And that just applies to every aspect of life.
That's wonderful. So MBL Partners focuses on long-term impact. So how do you guide organizations to move away from short-term wins and towards building sustainable value?
Yeah. So our definition of thriving is it's not about being successful, right? Or reaching some goal. It's actually about a continual mindset and emotional set of progressing, overcoming, fixing what's broken, and improving what's working. MBL Partners has an operating playbook. We call it the Thrive Playbook. We break down a business into its most fundamental basic sense. We get a baseline of where they're operating today, and then we build a plan to just start improving it. Not to go from 0 to 100 in a year, but to figure out, oh, I'm at level 15. And so how do I go from 15 to 20? And then when I'm at 20, how do I go from 20 to 25? And it's that process that we kind of guide. It guides our investment philosophy, it guides our IC, and it guides our advisory services.
That's incredible. So in terms of like in moments of crisis, how can leaders use radical transparency to rebuild trust and steer their organization through uncertain times?
Transparency is the antidote to all problems. The reason for that is not to just know all the problems, but if you're going to fix something or if you're going to improve something, you have to actually stare truthfully at what is broken or what is not working. And so during moments of crisis, something's gone wrong. Sometimes it's internal, sometimes it's external, and sometimes it's totally random. But figuring out what went wrong and getting everyone involved transparently, that then kicks off where, again, people of all shapes and sizes can actually help solutions and help to build, and you build that unity around that. So radical transparency is just critical in our organizations.
That's amazing. I think that's the ideal way to solve a problem. So, every leadership journey comes with challenges, right? So what has been some of the most defining obstacles you faced while building MBL Partners? And also what lessons did you leave with? Like, what did you learn from them?
Man, over a 25-year, period of time, I have lots of scars. I have lots of failures. I have lots of disasters that I've lived through. By the way, that's not unique to me. That is life. That is business. That is what happens. And those challenges, while in the moment feel overwhelming or debilitating, I've just learned that those challenges are part of this progression journey. It's actually part of the success story. It's part of thriving. And so how do you take that attitude and that mindset in the midst of the most challenging times? That provides hope. It provides energy for those around you. And I think that's a key characteristic of leadership. And so I've had many such experiences. I talk about them in my book. I've described many specific examples. In my social media, I've described some of the Hollywood type, episodes of challenge and disaster and all of those things. And I think it's just part of a story. We all have our own versions of it. I don't shy away from it. I actually lean into it, and I think it's very, very useful and helpful to have that kind of mindset.
That's superb. So how can leaders create lasting impact and momentum by consistently focusing on small daily micro habits instead of relying on those big one-time action?
I think it's human nature to grossly overestimate what you can do in a day, and on the opposite side, greatly underestimate what you can achieve in a year. And that human nature prevents us from focusing on those small and simple things, the things that don't give you these grandiose, immediate, instant gratification moments. But that is the building blocks of long-term success. Small, simple things done consistently well over long periods of time. And so as individuals, we have to break that human nature. We actually have to really enjoy doing the small and simple things consistently, even if you can't really feel the change. We all know on health journeys, right? There's no overnight successes. You have to actually put the work in, basic, one by one, consistent over long periods of time, and then look back and see the transformation. That's true in business. That's true in life. And that's how you do it. The winners are the ones that can do that consistently over long periods of time, as opposed to try and have overnight instant successes. And so that's being able to focus on that and really celebrate that, the small and simple things. That's how you drive kind of that leadership impact.
That's beautifully explained. So, in today's fast-paced business environment, how can leaders balance between performance pressure and also lead with purpose-driven leadership?
It doesn't have to contradict, but oftentimes it does, mostly because of what I just described. Most of the time, we are looking for those short-term, instant gratification moments. And that's where you forget about what it takes to actually win in the long run. And so you have to just separate those things, and you have to keep focusing on the purpose-driven, the things that keep you grounded, no matter what part of the cycle you're in, things are going well or things are in a crisis mode. You have to focus on being grounded and keep your energy focused on progress as opposed to outcomes. If you're constantly improving and following that process, the outcomes are inevitable.
That's well explained. So how can leaders shift from chasing short-term wins to consistently creating sustainable value that, continues to impact people and organizations long after they are gone? More like how do you build a legacy, along those lines?
I just believe and I believe that people feed off of your energy. That can be positive or that can be negative. And the kind of people that you want, the legacy that you want to live is a lasting positive energy, right? And so I think the way you show up, how you show up through the good times and through the bad, transparency, highly communicative, and always helping to advance the ball forward, that kind of energy lasts long after you're gone, right? And I think that's how you focus on it.
That's fantastic. So this brings me to the last question of the first segment. How would you describe your leadership philosophy today, and also how has it evolved over time?
So I try and help people thrive, period. By the way, remember, my definition of thriving isn't necessarily everything's going great, but no matter where you're at, I want you to feel the energy to move forward and advance and progress, and then help others do the same. And so that's what I continue to focus on. That's both an individual, an operational, and a professional mantra and mission of mine.
That's very thoughtful right there. So yeah, this brings us to the end of the segment 1. So let's quickly move on to the segment 2. So this will be a quick rapid fire round, Matthew, only short and crisp answers. So one word that defines you as a leader.
Hustle. I love just hustle. Yeah,
I can assure you on that. You definitely look like a hustler to me. So principle that you never compromise on.
Integrity and truth.
One misconception about leadership that people need to unlearn.
That it somehow means you have some title or authority. Everyone can be a leader without a title or authority.
Definitely. One habit that has significantly contributed to your success.
Small and simple daily habits done consistently well over long periods of time.
That's great. The most rewarding part of building MBL partners.
Doing it with great people and seeing them and helping them thrive.
One skill that every future leader must develop.
The builder's mindset. You have to break things down and then use processes, technology, systems to have those things stack.
Well said. Your leadership mantra in one line.
In one line, the impact has to start first with yourself and then with those around you in a very small community.
That's wonderful. I think, that was a wrap for the second segment. You were fantastic there, Matthew. So let's move on to the third segment, which will be about leadership in a minute. So, Matthew, if there is one message you'd like to share with aspiring leaders who want to create meaningful impact while staying authentic to themselves, what would it be?
There's never been a period of time in which individuals can actually achieve absolutely amazing, miraculous things. Right now, given technology, given society, given the macro concerns and issues, just given everything, this is the best time to be alive and to be an individual. You don't need a college degree. You don't need diplomas. You don't need job titles. You don't even really need big institutions. You can make a huge difference with yourself, with your community, and therefore accomplish all of your dreams with the ingenuity and the drive to do that.
I think there's a wise, solid, cutthroat advice to all of the new, next aspiring generation right there. So this brings us to the last and final segment. My first question to you for this segment would be, looking ahead, what key trends do you believe will shape the future of leadership and organizational growth?
Yeah, I think that intelligence is becoming commoditized, which means that the opportunities associated with intelligence are going to spread across the world like never before. So typically, the opportunity has been actually finite based on an intelligence gap. And intelligence is both education, but also technology and intelligence. As education and technology collapses the intelligence gap, the opportunities now are going to spread across the globe. And so I think that this trend is an amazing one. I'm excited about the global impact and the individuals in their local areas' ability to do amazing things. I think that we're about to witness just a resurgence and a miraculous period of personal and community type growth like never before.
That's very insightful. So how is MBL Partners preparing leaders and businesses to adapt to an increasingly complex and fast-changing world?
We stick to our basics. We have a Thrive playbook. We try and get to truth and transparency and build the system, the small and simple things to get an organization and individuals on that journey of progress and improvement. We do it in the way we advise companies and leaders. We do it in the way we invest behind and make investment decisions. We also do it in the way in which we start businesses. The combination of all of those things is very exciting. Our network of people and organizations that have benefited continues to grow and expand, and we just want to do more of it. And we think that as individuals find that impact, they're going to want to join our cause and join our mission.
That's incredible. So this brings me to the last question. In your view, what will define the next generation of visionary business leaders?
Those who can break down, architect, and then actually build compounding systems. That's, again, not just business. That can be personal too. Where do you compound growth? Where do you actually continue to circle? Again, leadership orbit is all about this orbiting mantra. I believe that with technology, with AI, with tools, those who can architect and structure and build compounding brain type learning systems are going to ultimately win.
Yes, I think that's really, really informative and wise advice right there. So Matthew, this brings us to the end of the interview, but before we say our goodbyes, I just want to give you a small vote of thanks. So thank you so much for sharing your powerful insights, your journey and your perspective on what it truly means to lead with purpose and authenticity. I think your approach is a strong reminder that leadership is not about external validation or quick wins, but about building consistently, leading transparently, and creating lasting value. For all of our viewers, we look forward to seeing how you continue to inspire leaders and organizations through MBPIL Partners. We'll be soon back with more conversations featuring visionary leaders shaping the future of business right here on the Enterprise World Magazine. So thank you so much, Matthew, for your time and effort for this interview. And I wish you all the best with your role and the company ahead.
Thank you. Have a great day.
Yes, you too. Bye. Take care.
Bye-bye.